Hello everybody, welcome to this Verbling class. My name is Teacher Amy and today's class is all about career. So I think it's an interesting topic because I think this kind of area of life is changing really, really fast, and it has a lot to do with technology and a lot to do with social media, but some jobs I guess are staying the same and some jobs are changing, some jobs are disappearing, new jobs are being created. It's just a bit of a discussion today on the career that you are following, but also, a general discussion about careers and the way that the job market works and how you can navigate your way through a career in 2015 or before and after 2015. So do come along in if you've booked a slot. If you'd like to join us from watching from verbling.com or YouTube, you're very welcome. And as we wait for everybody just to pop into the class, I'll let you know that there are a few pages you might like to look at. If you've never been to them before, check out my Verbling teacher page. That's in the chat box for you now. If you visit any of the teacher pages, you'll find a little bit more information about them, which includes things like our welcome video and some class excerpt videos, as well as timetable. If you're interested in private tutoring, which is when you can have a one-on-one session with the teacher, then you can access the tutoring schedule of that particular teacher on their Verbling teacher page. So it's a good place to go, see if your schedules match up, find out more about a particular teacher, and even write us a message. If you're keen on finding out something else that's not mentioned there, do get in touch with us via the messaging feature. And lastly, if you are a Facebook person, you might like to follow some of us on Facebook, and if you're interested, my Facebook page is in the chat box for you as well. All right, so let's say hello to the students, and we're going to find out, first of all, which is very important in today's class, what each of our students does for a job. Or perhaps they study, but what do they spend most of their day doing? What are they investing their time in? So we'll go to Anna first of all. Hello, Anna, and how are you? How was your weekend?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you for asking. My weekend was a bit boring because it was raining a lot, but it was productive because I studied English and yeah.
Excellent. So there you go. It wasn't all bad, Anna. The rain meant you maybe learned a few more English new words or practice what you'd learned last week. That's awesome. Tell us about your job, Anna. So some of us might already know, but for those of us who don't, what do you do?
I am a dentist and I am also a civil servant. I work in a strategy from the government called ESF. It's
All right.
a kind of community outreach. I work with a doctor, a nurse, a dental assistant, and some people who work as a community liaisons in a attached territory.
All right. So it sounds like it's a little bit more than just being a dentist because you work within a medical team.
Yes, it's a bit more than just to be a dentist because we work with preventive actions and I have to go to some elementary schools to teach children about their oral health, and I have to visit some families in their own homes,
Mm-hmm.
and I have more stuff to do than just being a dentist. I have a lot of forms to fill in.
Lots of administration as well.
Yes.
All right. Well, that sounds like a very kind of a wide-ranging version of being a dentist, Anna. And how do you feel about your career path? When you left school or when you were younger, did you always want to be a dentist? Did you have that in your mind, or did it happen by accident?
No, actually, I I had several dreams. When I was really little, I dreamed about marrying with a prince and don't have to work. Then I, I, I thought about being a personal trainer,
Mm-hmm.
But my parents would never approve because in their eyes it's a profession that doesn't give you status and they
Yeah.
are underpaid. So I had to be a dentist for my
Practical
gosh I
reason, maybe.
yes I didn't want to let them down, you
Yeah.
know.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you for a
But
great
I
introduction.
like it anyway.
You like it anyway. Great, that's awesome.
Yes, I like the this field. My favorite subject was biology.
Hmm. Okay, so it's not too far out of what you were interested in anyway. So, okay, great start, Anna. Thank you. So we have a dentist who does some other things as well. Welcome to the class, Anna, and we'll also say hi to David. How are you, David?
Hello, I'm
Nice to
fine,
see you
thank you.
again.
Nice to see you too.
So, David, tell us about your job. What do you do?
I am working in McDonald's.
Okay.
Uh, I am the supervisor of several restaurants,
Hmm.
and I've been working there for the last 20 years.
Wow.
Uh,
Okay, so
yes.
what types of tasks do you have to do in that role? Because I think when you say McDonald's, we all think about burgers, but you probably don't have to deal with burgers all day, every day. What do you actually do?
My main goal is to give a kind of support to the store managers.
Hmm.
Uh, in each restaurant, we have a store manager that he or she is the
Hmm.
boss of the restaurant,
Hmm.
and I have to think also about different goals for them
Yep.
and to review if they are achieving their goals along the year.
Okay. Throughout the year.
And sorry,
Throughout the year.
throughout the year, okay.
Hmm.
And also I have to help them in every task uh, they have to do.
Okay.
Hiring people,
Yeah.
preparing meetings, and dealing with customers, and a lot of things. We have to. We sell hamburgers, but our business is people.
Yes,
We
absolutely.
we work with people, and we work to or for people, and it's the best part of my job and the worst also, because every, everyone is different, and it's amazing to have the opportunity to meet people almost every day, but sometimes it's very hard to deal with very difficult problems.
Yes.
And my career is a bit strange, I think, because I am a chemist. I studied organic chemistry, and during my last year of my studies at the university, I decided to start working to earn some money to help at home and to have money for my own uh, expenses. And when I finished my studies of chemistry, mm, I decided to start a new career in McDonald's.
Wow.
And if I have to answer the question you asked to Anna, if I thought when I was a child that I wanted to be a supervisor of McDonald's, my answer is no.
Well, that doesn't surprise me, to be honest, David, because it's not exactly a romantic job, but it sounds
No,
like it's a good job. Kind of interesting, lots of different tasks to do. You know, quite hands-on. Are you quite a sociable person?
Yes, I think so.
Hmm.
Because if you have to work with people, and I think you have to try to engage people to follow you, and you have to be a social, a kind of social man or woman. And I am 43 now, but if I compare myself with friends of mine that they are working in other jobs, I'm young. My mind is younger than theirs. Because I work with young people. The average age, I think it's between 20 years, 20, 21.
Hmm.
I have people working with me from 18 up to 43. I am the oldest, I think.
Wow.
And if I want to motivate young people, I have to think like a young man. And perhaps I am younger than other people who
Yeah,
like me.
interesting point. Really interesting point. All right, thank you, David. Great introduction and a bit of an insight into a totally different job to a dentist. So welcome, and you've brought up some really interesting points about the whole idea of career as well, which we're going to hopefully go into a bit later. So great, thank you.
Thanks.
Let's say hello to Susan or Suzanne.
Hello,
Hello, is it Susan or Suzanne?
Susan.
Susan, nice to meet you, Susan.
Nice to meet you too.
Where are you from?
Brazil.
Where?
Brazil.
I can't get the country, sorry. Can you repeat it for me?
Brazil.
Could you type it? Oh, Brazil, right?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. You have to put the emphasis on the second syllable. So you don't say Brazil, but Brazil. Can you try it?
Brazil.
Yes. So emphasis on the second syllable, all right? I'm going to type it in the chat box for you. Um, sorry, Susan. So which part of Brazil are you from? Are you from a big city?
Yeah. São Paulo.
Okay, yes, that is a very big city, I've heard.
Yeah.
And what is your job?
I'm an HR assistant.
Okay, tell us a bit more about it.
I basically help with all the documents and all the questions that the personnel or everyone in the office need, or everything about payments, anything that they come to the HR, that if
Yeah.
they need every question about benefits or anything
Okay.
that it's basically the office where the personnel come to solve their questions.
Yeah. So that I think must be quite a challenging job.
It is, but it's very dynamic. We get to talk to the employees in a more informal manner because we're helping them. So they come, we're not like asking them to do things. That's not our job. They're managers, so it's more casual, I think,
Yep.
to deal with them.
Yeah, it's sort of like people that are already part of your company rather than, say, David, who has to deal with customers maybe a bit more, possibly. So how do you find your job, Susan? Do you enjoy it?
I like it. I like to talk to people, so every day we get to interact with them.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there is the part where we are always busy in our computers doing our things, but we get to spend some time just interacting and networking.
Woohoo! Sounds like fun. So you
Yeah.
have plenty of time to kind of have a coffee, to enjoy interacting with people, and the social side of it appeals to you.
Yeah, because we are all day, every day in the office. We don't want
Yeah.
to feel alone, so we have to talk to somebody.
Definitely. All right. Wow, that sounds very cool. And how about getting started in your job? How did you get into that job? Did you, want to always be in HR, or did you just fall into it somehow?
It happened before it. I had experience with administration, but I was more in financial side,
Hmm.
and um, I got referred for this position, and they liked me, and
Hmm.
I got the job.
Well done.
So,
Awesome. Okay.
referral is very important nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the key things that I guess 2015 is bringing in. Although I think this has probably been true for forever with jobs, knowing people. But awesome. Well, it's lovely to meet you, Susan. Welcome to the class,
Thank you so
and
much.
thanks for sharing with us. So let's go now to Raphael. Hi, Raphael.
Hi, Amy.
Nice to see you again. How's things going?
It's fine. Are you listening to me okay? Is the volume okay or no?
Yeah, sure. I can hear you very well.
Okay, okay. I'm fine. Thanks for asking you.
Yes, I'm good. So, Raphael, tell us about your job. So, I've heard a little bit about this before, but what do you do?
I'm an electrical engineer, electrical and computer engineer, and I work as an electrical inspector for a company which performs offshore operations. So I am I'm currently working in a oil rig facility, and I have to inspect their installations and how they're performing the projects and all related with the electrical installations in the facility.
Hmm.
People used to call me the guy with the clipboard because I'm always taking notes of their mistakes. So you might notice that I'm not the most loved person aboard, so it's kind of complicated.
So, basically, Raphael, you have to pick up everybody else's stuff that they've done wrong, and nobody is very keen on that, I shouldn't imagine.
Exactly.
However, you are probably keeping everybody much safer, right?
Exactly, because I have to study all safety procedures and safety standards, and to ensure that I'm asking uh, the right demand. So at the end, is everything for safety. We have to work for safety abroad.
Yeah.
So
And it sounds as if your job is really, really hands-on. I mean, you have to actually physically be there and look at everything. So do you have to travel around a lot or not really?
yes, I have to because most of the oil rig facilities are around 200 miles of coast.
Hmm.
So I have to travel by helicopter, and it's kind of interesting because it's a very fun experience.
Yeah. Wow, that's really cool. So what would you say is probably, if you can have to give us the positive and the negative, the worst thing and the best thing about your job, what would you say?
And the best thing is I always meeting new people and having nowadays I'm having more contact with foreign engineers, and we are having a great opportunity to trade experiences and
Hmm.
also practice my English because I've been studying a lot for a long time.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is because I have to stay out of home for such a long time. Sometimes I have to stay out for 2 weeks, 2 weeks or to 20 days. So
Uh-huh.
the homesick is the biggest problem. But
Homesickness.
homesickness, yes, is the biggest problem. But I can handle with it.
Hmm. You can't help it. You can't help it. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Awesome. So what a wide range of jobs so far. Thanks, Raphael. Welcome. Let's go to Ksenia next. Tell us about your job, Ksenia. How are you? Welcome. Lovely to see you.
Hello. Fine, thank you. So, I have a degree in management, but working in the office it's my nightmare actually. So, I'm nail artist and eyelash designer, maybe. Eyelash designer, yes?
That is
Do we
an,
have such
yeah, sure.
profession?
Is there such a
Because
thing?
in Russian it's different, but I try to translate in English. I don't
Well,
know.
it's not
It's,
a job that I know very well of, but yes, it sounds fine. I mean, it could be part of like sort of the beauty industry. But yeah,
yes.
so what exactly do you do, Ksenia? What do you have to do?
If you have short and thin eyelashes, I can do it longer
Hmm.
and more vibrant. I don't know how to say,
Yeah.
so it
Thicker?
will be better. Thicker, yes.
And is that, it sounds like a really fiddly job. Is it difficult?
Yes, so on each your natural lashes, I have to put artificial one, so it's about 2 hours.
Wow. That sounds really, really fiddly, so you must be good with your hands, I think.
Yes.
Awesome. What a random array of jobs we have so far. So, tell me, the same as Raphael, Ksenia, the best thing and the worst thing about your job.
The best thing, so I have, I don't know how to say, when I want to work, I work, and I wake up about 10 a.m. So for me, it's
Woohoo!
ideal. Yes. But the worst, I think, it's very bad for my eyes because I have to do very tiny things. So I have to put my R's in extension. I don't know how to say it. So I have a
Yes.
problem with my eyes actually.
Strain your eyes, maybe a bit.
Yes.
Yeah. That is a downside. So interesting, but wow, a really fascinating job there. Thank you for sharing. Welcome to class.
Okay.
Jose, tell us about your job.
Yes, I work as a teacher. I teach math and computing. I studied mechanical engineering, but after that, the economy in Spain was going down, and in the beginning, I started to work in a company, but the company fired a lot of people.
Mhm.
Between all the people, fired me too, and then I had to find a new job, and I passed the exam, and I started to work as a civil servant. I I started to work as a teacher in a high school. The best thing in my work is the gratification to participate in teaching students, because when you see the student 10 or 12 years later, the student have find a job,
Mhm.
I feel gratified about myself, because I participate in the education of these people.
Yeah, I know the feeling, Jose.
Yeah.
So that's awesome, and it's kind of a bit of a change. Like, it wasn't really your choice
Yes.
as such, but how do you feel about it now?
Because the change because the economy in Spain was going down, and after that I have to find another job, and I like teaching,
Mhm.
and it's another possibility that I had to find a job.
Yep. All right. Well done. And I mean, I know the situation in Spain has been really, really tough. So you've actually
Yeah,
done really well
yeah,
considering, I think.
yeah. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. I'm just going to pause for 1 second. Julian and Natasha and Ramon, I haven't forgotten about you. But because the second part of the class is actually looking at an article What I'm just going to assign you guys a couple of points so that some of you may start just taking a look at it if you'd like to, while we're continuing to find out about jobs. So I'm going to share the link, and then I will come back to you three. The link is in the chat box there and there. And so what I'm going to do, guys, is give you one paragraph each. You'll see if you click on the link that there are 10, I think there's 10 different points about this career idea. And what I'd like you to do is to read over your point that I assign you and then just present it briefly to the class so that we can get an idea of the article just in a couple of minutes. We'll cover the introduction really briefly, but I'm going to assign the first point number 1, to Anna. That know the difference between a job versus career versus calling. That one's yours, Anna. David, I'm going to assign you number 2. When lost, methodically define your disposition. So David is number 2. Then we'll just go through number-wise. So number 3, seek enjoyment in the process, not the outcome. It's actually just a quote. So that one's for you, Jose, number 3.
Okay.
Number 4 is for Julian. Julian, you can just pause because I haven't spoken to you yet, but once I have, you can go over to number 4. Great careers can be non-linear. 5 for Ksenia, that's seek to be indispensable. 6 for Natasha, that's remove external validation. 7, work hard to be lucky, is for you, Ramon. 8 is for you, Raphael, seek perspectives. 9 is for Susan. If given the opportunity, play with varsity. And 10 we'll leave as a possibility for anyone who finishes first. So if you would like to get onto your point and just have a look at it and start working on it, feel free. I'm going to come back and talk to the others now. So Ramon, we'll come to you next. Tell us about your job.
Okay, I work in the IT field. I work as a business analyst.
Yep.
I have been working in IT since I was 16. Nowadays I'm 27, so it's 11 years.
Yep.
But I have already changed to many fields inside the IT field. I worked formerly as a teacher. I have worked as a maintenance technician and network technician, and I have worked as a developer as well. But nowadays I work as a business analyst, everything on the IT field. And beside that, I still work as a developer, but just in my spare time when I'm not working in the company I work for.
All right, wow, so you've actually done quite a few different things, Ramon. And it sounds as if you left school and started work straight away, is that right?
Yes, as in fact I worked before the school in the IT field.
Okay, wow, so you were like you just love IT. Is it sort of like something that you are really, really interested in?
Yes, that's it. Yes.
And how about when you were younger? Did you imagine being like a computer geek?
No. When I was younger, it was interesting because I always wanted to be a scientist.
Yeah.
But nowadays I work in something not the same thing, but I love it anyway.
Well, that's awesome. And maybe science isn't so different from what you do now. I mean, I guess having like a sort of a scientific mind helps you, because with all the different things you have to think about, quite a technical sounding job.
Yes, there is some course here named computer science, for instance. So if you graduate in it, you can be considered a scientist in this case.
Exactly. That's absolutely true. So maybe you are kind of what you imagined you would be in a way. All right, so we have Ramon, the computer expert. So if anything is wrong with this class, Ramon, you can help us. No, only kidding. All right, welcome. Lovely to see you and have you in the class.
Okay, thank you.
Julian.
Hi, Amy. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Tell us about your job.
I'm a instructor, a teacher in a governmental institution here in Colombia. It's for technical careers. I am teaching environment control and weather treatment. And I started 2 years ago. Really, when I did a startup maybe 4 years ago, and with the crafted beers. And we started with a friend, but maybe with different troubles and a situation and the economic situation of Colombia and other related things with the startups. We have to take a job again. But I'm working in some things at the same time.
All right, so you've had a bit of a change of plan, and how do you feel about your job now? Do you enjoy it?
Now, yes, but when I have to take it, I don't like so much because I'm very focused in my dream and in the startup and my freedom. It's very important for me. And in really the contractual conditions for this job, it's like a startup because it's like a contract. I don't have I don't say that safety in my job. Depends the political situation of the municipality and. But now I understand that with my job I could contribute with my country because I am growing and teaching different people that don't have the opportunity to go the university like me, and I am teaching the other thinking that maybe it's not possible. Or it's not available for them in other situation. And really for me it's now it's interesting subject because I learned so much about sustainability and environmental control and climate change, and I like so much. I am working. And now I am doing research in this subject, and I'm happy. Yes, I'm happy now.
Brilliant! That's a great story and kind of a bit of an unusual one because it's something that you took because you had to, but now you've kind of grown into it, Julian, and you enjoy it. So awesome. Welcome. Really interesting job. I think I'm kind of interested in that, so I'd find that really fascinating. All right, last but definitely not least, Natasha, thank you for waiting so long. Tell us, how are you, first of all? Are you okay?
Yes, I am fine. Thank you for asking.
Wonderful. Tell us about your job.
Okay. Nowadays, I am professor of medicine in medical university, and mainly I specialize in public health, especially health of children and adolescents. That's all. What else?
So tell us just a little bit more, Natasha. What exactly do you have to do? What are the tasks that you do when you turn up to work in the morning?
Okay, I have to prepare lectures and practice lessons for my students, and I help them to improve their knowledge about health. Our children and adolescents, about preventive measures, especially factors of I tell them about factors of risk in our environment, especially in schools, kindergartens, and in families, and so on. And also I say them how they have to make the investigation and prove that these factors of risk influence on the children's health, and also they have to make preventive measures for health and improving the health for our young generation. Also, I try to tell them about health, about rules of growing and about preventive, special and unspecial preventive measures as well, and also we say about such things as benefits of physical activities, of about rights, health, about right food also, and so on. A lot of things, I suppose.
Wow, that sounds kind of fascinating, Natasha. Do you enjoy it?
Yes, yes, I really very like my job, especially because previously I was as investigators and I made a lot of scientific jobs about this. So nowadays I may and I can tell about about my experience, my students, and I hope that my experience and my knowledge help them to choose their own way in their future life. I hope, yes, I hope that my knowledge will help them to be more professional and more more clever, I suppose, and so I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Awesome. All right. Thank you, Natasha. Wow, what an amazingly diverse group of people in this class right now. That's kind of fascinating. People who travel, people who don't, people who teach, people who learn. It's kind of amazing. So we're going to look at the article. If you haven't had a chance to quickly look at your section, go and do that now. And what we're going to do is a really, really short, just brief explanation of your paragraph. We're going to quickly look at the title, which is the Career Compass, 10 Essential Ideas for Navigating the New Career Landscape. And whether or not these apply to your job, I think, will depend on your job, but also maybe the type of person you are. We're not going to read the introduction, really. It's just basically saying that there are several different thoughts that come from noted authors, researchers, and creatives, not particularly from this author. But the reason why they've been chosen is because these people navigated a career path that was imperfect and non-linear, and how they overcame the obstacles, which I'm sure we all face. So we're going to look at number 1. Anna, are you ready to tell us? You've got just 1 minute, so it's a really brief summary of what your paragraph was saying.
Okay. Basically, it's saying that you can see what you do for a living with 3 different perspectives. It can be a job, either a job or a career or a calling. And people who see what they do for a living as a job are the least satisfied, the least motivated people. People who see what they do for a living as a career are very engaged to achieve their goals because they long for promotions, higher salaries, and more responsibilities. But people who are the most satisfied and the happiest are people who see their jobs as a calling. It's like a vocation. The job is not just something that they do for a living. It is part of their lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Anna. That was a stunning summary. Well done. Perfect. So the first one, as Anna says, do you do a job? Have you got a career, or are you working in a calling? Does anyone in this class feel like they are in their calling? I think there are very few people actually who feel this about their daily lives. In my life, I only
Amy,
know one. Yeah, go ahead.
what is a calling, by the way?
Good question. Can anyone explain what they think a calling is?
It's like a vocation. As I told you, something that is part of your life, like something that is deep in your soul, part of who you are, not something that you have to do, but is part of your personality, like a calling, a vocation. Right, teacher?
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't have described it better myself, Anna. Does that make sense, Raphael?
Yes, thank you.
All right. So I think there are very few people who actually have this, but think about it. It's something to think about because we all are just living our lives. Sometimes we have no choice. Sometimes we make the best of what we do. But if we could find a calling, I think it's, as Anna says, the most satisfying. Okay, stunning start. Thank you, Anna. Let's go on to David. Okay, David, let's hear your little summary.
Okay. My point is about when you don't know where you are, perhaps you have to look for the answer inside of you. This man and the writer of the article gives us a guide to look for a job. And in my point, there are 3 steps. Step 1 is to reconnect with your inclinations. The things that you made, the things that made you weird as a kid make you great today. I like this point because I totally agree. When you were a kid, probably many voices tried to confuse you, and these voices try to feed you into creative paths. But you have to think that these weird things are going to make you different now. And the second step is that you have to look at the career path you are on or you are about to begin, and you have to investigate if you can find these things that made you weird when you were a child, and if this new job can represent your values. And you have to think that work and life are connected. Probably we talk about work and life like different things, but if you are not happy at work, probably you won't be happy in your personal life. And finally, the third step is that you don't have to think that you have to be working in the same place forever.
All right. Wow. Thank you, David. Also, really good summary because you had a lot to take in, very, very long point. But I must admit that quote that you mentioned is a really good way of looking at it. The things that made you weird as a kid make you great today. So even if you're already in a job, maybe think about what those things were. How can you incorporate them, perhaps? Thanks, David. Awesome. Okay, Jose, your turn, and it's number 3.
Okay, the point number 3 talk about the seek enjoyment in the process, not the result. I think you have to feel satisfied about the job that you have chosen, because when you choose a work, you have to feel happy about the job that you are developing. You have to show your efficiency, and you have to feel gratification of your desires. and you have to avoid the terror, and you have to avoid to be afraid about the losing the goal. In short term, you don't have to spare the whole life to reach a determined goal. The most important thing is you have to be comfortable in the work that you are working. It's
Yep.
the most
All right.
important thing. The article talk about these aspects.
Yeah. So what he's really saying is that you'd need goals, but they shouldn't be the be all and end all. They should be
Yes.
a way to lead you through. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Jose. Really good point, that one, and I think something that is really good to remember. If you try to enjoy every moment of everything, your life is suddenly much more fun and much happier than if you're always thinking about something in the future, right?
It's better. The result will be better.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Jose. Brilliant. Number 4 is from Julian.
Yes. The number 4 is talk about the great things are not linear. What it means? In some cases, we think that all in life it's linear. You have a grade, maybe in the university, and you get a job related with this grade, and then in the company you are growing, you have a career, you get a new position, you could be a boss, a chef, a manager in this company. But in this point shows the history about Ella Luna that applied for many law school, sorry, and she doesn't accept by anyone, and but later she studied something related with art and sign and started with a work with a big company, designing no making a storyteller and like this. I don't know really what is a storyteller. I think it's related with with the merchandising or like this of that, and after that it's was fire of this big company, and she started with a small startups, and so how these startups improve in time and grow in time, and then she started painting, and when she started painting, have a time to painting and have to set up, and one time she say, I don't have enough time for both things. I have to decide about two things, and he decided about painting, and that for to show that maybe in some case the pathway that we strive it for our life is not necessarily the best pathway. Maybe for you get at the great things, or for to find the calling of your life, you have to move in different areas and different jobs and different subjects that you never think about
All
before.
right. Thank you, Julian. Yeah, absolutely true. I'm sure that we can all relate to this. Just things happening not as we planned, but being prepared to be flexible and change and maybe go through several different careers and jobs. Thank you, Julian. Number 5 is from Ksenia.
Okay, if you want to be a successful person, you should be indispensable in your field, and if you are not, I think your boss will replace you by someone who it is. And you may ask, maybe the boss will look for someone more experienced, maybe for someone who willing to work more hours? The answer, I'm sure, is no, because your boss are going to look for someone more human, connected, and mature, with passion in job, with flexible in face of change, and resilient in the face of confusion. So you want to be all this adjective if you want to be successful.
All right, so that one's kind of a straightforward one, but a good point that maybe is not thought about so much. Could also be true if you run your own business, I guess. You want to be unique, or somebody we have to go to find this product or whatever. So thanks, Ksenia. Brilliant. Next one is Natasha, number 6.
Okay, I think that the main idea of this part of topic about making of choice, about making this decision, which job people may obtain for their future life, and in this case, they have to use only the eagerness to do the lovely deal, the lovely things, because only in this case they will be happy every second, every minute of their life, and only in this case they have to be successful and even obtain something really great for them, rewards. Unfortunately, sometimes they make a decision about other jobs. For example, they in this case they may obtain or earn a lot of money, or they may to be to do something prestigious work, and yes, they have to please at something special time of their lives, but ultimately they have to be really unhappy people. They have to be disappointed because they may understand that their life was empty without their lovely deal.
All right, yeah, so this is, I guess, connected to one that we was coming before. I can't remember whose it was, but in sort of making sure that each day and that you're interested in what you're doing right now. I think it can be tough, this one, you know, in some jobs, but thank you, Natasha. Wonderful. Some great ideas here. Ramon, number 7.
Okay, here they are talking about if you need to be a hard-working guy or a lucky guy to be successful. They even quote in a study in which people said they were more lucky than hardworking. But there are someone here. But there are someone here who said she was very, very hardworking. And I personally think if you want to be successful, of course, you have to be lucky, but you need to work hard to achieve your goals because it's not easy. And I mean, we live in a world with 7 billion people. If you don't do something to be there, probably you won't. You can't be. So I think we need to be hardworking.
Yeah, thank you. Interesting one. And kind of interesting, you know, about this idea of luck. And I guess that it definitely does play a role, but what it's really saying, Ramon, is that you need hard work regardless, right? You just have to work hard if you want to be successful. If you're lucky as well, that's great, but you can't do it without hard work, right?
Yes, that's it.
Lovely. Well done. Great explanation. All right, number 8, Raphael.
Well, thinking outside the box and trying to set the world with another perspective, trying to look for better ways to improve your skills and finding new ones in order to complete tasks and strengthen your abilities. So we have to look the world and our tasks with another perspective and go for it. Maybe we can disclose, we can uncover hidden abilities we weren't even sure that we have. So that's the special says about this paragraph.
Okay. What an interesting one, because this is definitely something that I haven't thought about before. And it might be, if you are interested in reading a bit more, there's another article that is linked here, which I haven't read, but it might be interesting to take a look at. So looking at things from a different perspective, how do you see things, and also how does your job make you see things? Kind of interesting. Thank you, Raphael. Lovely explanation. Susan, number 9.
Okay, the message here is, there was a new word for me, varsity. Varsity. Well,
did you figure out what it meant?
Yeah, so basically it means that it's used a lot in sports. It means the more advanced team or squad.
Yep.
And the message here is very interesting because it says, if you give him the opportunity, play with varsity. Meaning, if you have the opportunity, go and play with the best ones. And here, there is a part where it's very interesting in the story. She said, I just knew that if I got to practice with the better players every day, I would become a much better player, even if I didn't get to play in any of the games. By watching the good ones, you can learn a lot, even if you're not playing. I think that's very interesting.
All right, lovely. I like the way that you've kind of put your own spin on it as well, Susan. And yeah, I think this is a really important point, and maybe not so much watching, depending on what your career is, but maybe reading or just, I don't know, finding out things from people who are experts in the field that you work in.
Yeah.
Interesting point. Okay, awesome. All right, Anna's requested to do number 10, and I think we just about have time, Anna, if you can make it really succinct, please.
Okay, really briefly. Basically, you cannot postpone your dreams, and you can find yourself asking, am I in the right path? And you can look backwards and see that you could have chosen other paths. And if you don't know from where to get started, start with something that is difficult, even if it is wrong, because if it dawns on you that it is wrong, then you can realize what you want to do, and then you have to go for it. I guess.
Yeah, good point. I hadn't thought of that either. But actually true. I guess action is important, and we only have a limited amount of time, but if you do something that you hate, at least you know that you hate it. You could do something else then. All right, superb speaking from all of you today. Really well done. Don't forget to check out the chat box for some comments. But overall, some really superb summaries from some of you, and excellent explanations, some great vocab. I seem to have frozen. I'm not sure if you guys can still hear me, actually. But congratulations. I hope you have a really, really good week. Take care. I will see you guys again soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
week.